What's going on, everybody? So, it's been a while since I made a video, but you guys know how it goes here by now. If you follow the channel at all, you know that we get really busy around tax season with general maintenance and general repair. I don't film a lot of it because it's a lot of fast-paced work that needs to get in and out of here. I don't keep a lot of stuff overnight, so it's kind of hard to film, but I know you guys missed the welding stuff, so we got something pretty cool today. So, someone contacted me via email. He lives in another state. He's got a very old and rare heat shield. Now, this heat shield was made by a company called Arc. And here's what it looks like. So that's the heat shield. Now, you can see it says Arc, and if you can, read the description there, because it's actually hysterical. Pause it if you have to, if you could see that, but it is hysterical, the Japanese actual translation of what they were trying to get through. But what we got to fix on this guy today is that hole doesn't belong there. That was put in by somebody else. This notch right here doesn't belong there. That was cut by someone. So what we're going to do today is we're going to fill this hole up, and we're going to try to find a piece of metal to actually fix this general area right here. And then also we have a crack along the entire length that we have to glue back together. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by cleaning up this area here, and then we're going to clamp some copper behind this hole to trap the argon and to give us a little bit of heat shielding, and then we'll weld up this hole first, and then we're going to move on to the rest of it. So here we go. Alright guys, so we're going to clean this up. Now obviously we got to clean up this hole right here, because this is the section that we need to repair. Now, what's nice about titanium is it actually cleans up really well, and I think when we get done with it, we'll probably end up polishing out the entire piece so that it has a chance to go back to this color again once it's on the vehicle. Because our welding is going to discolor it some and do a few little odds and ends, but what we're going to do is we're basically just going to use a little cookie wheel. We'll get this all cleaned up real quick. Hey, so we got to tap this down, because you guys can see that this little ridge right here, this little ridge is full of crap from where they tighten the bolt down too much. So I'm just going to flip it over. We'll lay it down on a piece of copper real quick, and we'll just kind of hammer that flat. That's better. Get a little bit more on the outside there. Alright, let's see if we can clean that up. Alrighty, now we got that cleaned. We're literally just going to run a drill bit through it. Just this little Christmas tree bit, just to get all the crap out from inside of it. We want a nice, clean surface so that when we weld this together, we can fill that hole up without any problems. We'll clean that backside up again just a little bit. Alright, so we got the back side cleaned up, we got the front side cleaned up. And now what we're going to do is we're going to strap this giant chunk of copper I have here. We're going to strap that behind there, and we'll clamp this to the copper. And what that's going to do is give us some argon coverage, and it'll also give us a nice backside to that weld. So I'm going to get this all set up and ready to weld, and then I'll come back when we're ready to weld it. Alright, so now that we got this puppy all clamped up, we are going to switch out to one of our larger cups. And we're actually going to go for the BBW from Furic, of course. We always go with that cup when we're working with our gas lens, especially when we're working with titanium and we need some good argon coverage, because that is going to be the key when it comes to welding up this titanium, is we want the best possible argon coverage we can get. So we're going to run this big cup, we're going to go sharpen our electrode. Alright guys, so here we go, we got everything all clamped up. We got our electrode sharpened, we got our big 1-inch cup on there, we got our electrode sticking out, we got our gas is set to about 35 CFH, we're going to be running at about 65 amps, and what we're going to do is we're just going to run around this hole, and we're going to try to fill up as much as we can. We got some titanium filler rod, so let's see how this goes. Alright, so that looks pretty good. We got that hole filled up. We did get a little bit of distortion in the metal. Not a huge deal. We can kind of hammer that flat. We just want to make sure that we made it all the way through that hole. Which we did. You guys can see the back of that there. We got some good color on that. It means we got some pretty good argon coverage back there. Not too terrible, not too great. But now that is raised up a little bit, so we're going to hit that with the grinder and see what that comes out looking like. Alright guys, I want you to notice the sparks that come off of titanium because it's pretty cool. Alright guys, so hopefully you can see that. There is our hole that used to be there has been repaired. So you literally, even from the side, can't tell that it's been repaired, which is awesome. So now we have the original hole that's supposed to be there, and the hole that used to be right here is now gone. So we got that all tidied up. Now we're going to focus on this crack right here. Which what we're going to do basically is throw a tack right at the bottom here. And then once we get that tack on, we're basically going to just fusion weld all this. We're not going to use any filler wire. We're just going to make sure we got a good tack at the bottom. Okay, so there's our nice little tack. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it's there. Now we're going to focus on this side right here. Alright guys, so there's that. Got that all sealed up. We had to use a little bit of filler just because there's some impurities in the metal that came to the surface, but nice and shiny. Sometimes I wish this thing focused better. Let's see. I don't know. But yeah. For some reason titanium welds are super hard to get on film, but there you go, pretty good. Heat affected zone is about stock, which is what it is over here. So that's my weld, that's the factory weld, looking pretty good. So now what we have to focus our attention on is this guy right here. Now we're actually going to have to find a chunk of titanium to cut out and use over here because there's just a piece missing. So I'm going to see if I can find something now, and we'll see if we can get something in there. Alright, so hopefully you can see this. Maybe I'll try to zoom in a little bit. Alright, and then maybe we'll focus on it. So right here, you can see we made up a piece, and all we did was take a piece of flat stock titanium, made up a little piece for it. Now we're going to tack it in. Once we get it all tacked in, we'll weld it from the back side, then we'll weld it from the top side, we'll grind everything smooth and make it look amazing. So let's try to get a tack on this puppy. Alright, now that we got a quick tack on it, we can kind of maneuver it into place. And then we'll clamp everything back down again. Yeah, I know. Can't see anything. This camera is goofy as hell. Alright. See if that's a little bit better. Alright guys, so we got a couple of really good tacks on there. We're going to get one more on this corner over here, and then we're going to weld it from the top. Alright guys, so there's what it looks like. The patch welded in. And we're going to go over the back side of this just to get and make sure that everything is penetrated all the way through, because we're going to grind all these welds off. So we got to grind this weld off, we got to make sure that we penetrate it all the way through the back, and because we don't have argon coverage in the rear, we didn't penetrate all the way through. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clamp this down to our copper, clamp it down like so, then we're going to weld around the back side of it. Alright guys, so there's the weld on the back side. And again, so hard to see with the titanium stuff, but what we're going to do now that I don't have to scream, is you can see it horribly discolored the top side there. Now we're going to grind all those welds right off of there so that we can make this thing look absolutely flat. Then we're going to body work it a little bit just to kind of straighten out the weirdness in the metal right there. And once we get that all straightened out, I'll bring you guys back and I'll show you exactly what it's going to look like. Whew, I just had a sneezing fit. Alright, so finished product, ready to go, completely repaired, very rare arc heat shield, and here is what it looks like. So you can obviously see the area that was repaired. You know, this area in here and this area over here where the hole was. These little dents were already in the metal, so we couldn't get all that stuff out. So any little imperfections you see were in the actual unit itself and not the repair. But there's what the actual repair looks like. Now we colored it up a little bit just to kind of get it to match. The customer can choose to polish this entire thing to make it look nice, or just polish this one area or whatever. But anytime you polish this metal, it's going to change color. So there's the back side of it, and the back side of it looks pretty good too. So the back side of it looks pretty decent too. Now the heat shielding and all that stuff is pretty much going to cover this whole area anyway, so you won't really see it. But what we were concerned with is this whole area here, this line right up top here that wasn't there before anymore and whatever else. So yeah, I think we did a pretty decent job. This thing came out pretty good. Now it's obviously a little deformed from the heat, and you know, this was used on a vehicle, so it has been used and abused and remounted and holes drilled in it and all kinds of stuff. So definitely something that the owner's going to get a lot of comments about, because it is a very rare piece. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. That was just us fixing up some titanium stuff. I thought it would be neat to kind of do this one and film it, because it is a very rare shield. And you know, myself and the owner decided to repair this one. We had you know, an option of basically making a whole new shield and then taking the logo off and putting it on, but I personally don't like doing that, because then it's a copy with a logo strapped to it and it's kind of a fake at that point. At least this one, 99% of it is still the original heat shield. We just fixed up the little faux pas that someone else had made in it. So hope you guys enjoyed that one. A little bit more welding stuff. I don't know that we have a lot of welding stuff coming up. We have a lot of maintenance stuff coming up, so I'm going to film some more of that. But thanks for joining me. Hope this video wasn't too long, and I hope you enjoyed it. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave me a comment down below. I don't know if you guys have noticed yet, but we do have our shirts and sweatshirts and stuff like that available right below the video. There's a line of 4 items. It's all done through Teespring. Teespring has been really good to us. Their products are really high quality. So if you want a shirt, go check them out. You know, if you're interested in any of the equipment we use here, down in the description below, there's links to all of that. So, enough talking. I will see you guys on the next one. Have a good night.